Welcome back to The Express, the Vancouver Art Gallery. I love this piece behind me, and it has a really cool story too. It's created by BC artist Carol Itter. She works with found objects. But the neat thing is she made it for the man that she loves, who's an artist and also a jazz pianist. Pretty neat, hey? We have another creative labor of love with our next story, but in this case, it's a celebration of an island. Bowen, home to writers and artists. It's becoming a destination within a destination for art lovers.
I've been lately thinking of it as the Enchanted Island.
Just a 20-minute ferry ride from the mainland, and you feel like you're worlds away.
There's some kind of atmosphere here that is very good for creativity.
Worlds away from the bustle of the city, but not from civilization. If anything, Bowen Island is the new Renaissance. Home to writers and professors and painters.
It has an energy about it.
You can almost see the arc of the flying crow's wing or the gentle lap of the ocean waves in the brush strokes of Greg Simpson's work.
Island Passages was sort of the idea of, having come to Bowen to spend a lot of time and working from the natural settings.
Inspiration is everywhere. The sparkling diamonds of water reflected off the hulls of the boats, reflected again in the warmth and pull of the paintings. Work that you can now see in the new Coastal Patterns Gallery, a welcome addition to Bowen Island's Artisans Square.
And it's been great fun. We've always wanted to actually have our own gallery and really just feature Greg's work. And of course, Greg's having a wonderful time because he has a new show every month.
Oh, I think this is really a breakthrough because I have a lot of work from the past 50 years of pretty well full-time painting. Now we get to show it in all kinds of different combinations.
A new chapter for this prolific West Coast artist.
I sort of see it as Canada's Riviera.
And a new enchantment for the community of Bowen Island and beyond.
A lot of people don't know we're up here because it's a bit of a hike up. It's about a 15-minute walk, or you can take the bus. But once you get up to Artisans Square, it's full of galleries. There's 6 galleries just in this area alone, and all sorts of cute little shops and clothing stores, etc. So this is just a jewel on Bowen that people don't really know about.
The website is coastalpatternsgallery.com. The current exhibit, Abstractions and Landforms, runs to February the 18th. Now, Greg's wife, Carol, who we met in the story, who runs the gallery, she's also a writer, and among her many projects, she produces the Write on Bowen Festival every summer. Proof once again that there are so many ways to express yourself creatively, through writing, through art, even through hobbies. Our next story takes us back to Port Moody, where the world of miniatures is getting bigger and bigger.
Look at the front end. Does that look like a 40?
It looks like a 1944.
39?
On-Track Hobbies has everything you'll ever need to build model planes, trains, and automobiles.
It's been referred to as 3D art that moves, and that's the kind of cool thing. People who are really talented, you get down close with a camera and you look like you're watching a train go by in the 1880s or whatever era you were modeling it. It is really a lot of fun. We don't need something super thick then if you're going to laminate something on top of it.
No. Yeah, I just find it totally relaxing. I can relate back to when I used to be under a lot of stress. I was teaching at a college, and I'd come home, and my wife said, go down to the train room. You could tell I had this gray cloud coming over me. And say, go down to the train room and work in the train room. And I go down there, and I'd work for an hour or two, and I'd come back, and I'm just calm as can be. And then we'd need the gold, or the sea. Would it be this one? Do you need for the lines? Or do you do decals?
I do decals.
The store's always got great selection of just about anything you can think of. And if they don't have it, they know how to source it and get it for you, which is another great thing, right?
And Tuscan is right down at the end.
Tom and his wife Joyce have co-owned On-Track Hobbies for the past few years, but it's Tom who got them into the hobby business.
Okay, so we'll get that ordered today so we can have the Warhammer
in by the end of the month.
I worked part-time for the previous owner for 5 years. I worked weekends and that kind of thing. And one day he phoned me and said, "You want to buy a hobby shop?" Rest is history. So we've owned it since September 1st, 2007. Yeah.
So if you move this way slightly, we can offset the other two racks.
Yeah.
One of the things that a lot of people don't realize we carry in our store, they think of us as the train stories that we have, paint by numbers, which a lot of us have done as kids. And the other thing I really enjoy is the slot cars. I don't know why, but I kind of like selling the slot cars and the cars, even though I've never actually owned one myself. I just enjoy that aspect of it. And I'm starting to take a liking to dollhouses. I don't know why, even though I never had one. I never really wanted one as a kid. I kind of might get into that now.
I think that's, what, $39.40?
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. I'll buy both.
And no matter what kind of hobby you're getting into, On Track Hobbies has what you're looking for. In Port Moody, I'm Kendall Harris for The Express.
You can go to the website ontrackhobbies.com to find out about upcoming workshops. Everything from making trees to making durable scenery. And they say that the classes are so hands-on, they suggest you wear older clothing. You're watching The Express, and we have more on BC's creative side coming up.
First of all, I want to figure out how much you guys know about chords.
Piano lessons at the Squamish Music Academy. 80 years at the Vancouver Art Gallery. The Express, we are your local voice.
Community programming on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by
hairstyling and color services for Shaw TV, provided by the Lounge Hair Studio, loungehairstudio.com.
Almost 4.5 million Canadians live with arthritis. It's a leading cause of pain and disability. Arthritis strikes young and old alike, and the burden of illness takes an enormous toll. The Canadian Arthritis Network is a not-for-profit organization that funds research and connects today's players in arthritis research. We're all working together so that today's arthritis research becomes tomorrow's cure. For more information, please visit arthritisnetwork.ca.
I've got a serious pain in my head. I can't see straight, I'm crying instead. I try to speak, but the words will not come. I try to walk, but my legs come undone. I've lost my balance over you. Is it love? Is it true?
Sadly, it's not love. It's a stroke. Note the sudden weakness, difficulty speaking, vision problems, headache, and loss of balance. Any one of these symptoms could mean a stroke. Call 911. By acting fast, you could save up to 2 million brain cells a minute.
A message from the Heart and Stroke Foundation.
Never mind the love stuff. Pay attention to your brain.
Welcome back to The Express at the Vancouver Art Gallery. This is a really interesting piece behind me, Jeffrey Farmer's Hunchback Kit. It's part of the autobiography collection. I won't even try to explain what it means. I just encourage you to come and check it out for yourself. But it is a great example of the many broad brushstrokes in the world of art, right? And we've seen that on today's show, from tattoo artists to professional hobbyists. I know, sounds like an oxymoron. To our next story from the Squamish Academy of Music.
A simple scale can sound like a horror movie soundtrack.
A lot of people, when they're first starting piano, especially adults, get really scared about the prospect of learning an instrument.
There are 52 ivories and 36 ebonies. That's 88 keys to conquer with 10 digits to choose from. But music instructor Michelle Lacombe has a new approach to learning the piano. The University of Victoria Music Department graduate introduces a technique embraced by both adults and kids looking to fast-track their fingerwork here at the Squamish Academy of Music.
So we're going to start. First of all, I want to figure out how much you guys know about chords. So if I say triad, does that mean anything? Chording is, I guess I would describe it kind of like improvisation. taking a chord, a triad if you're a musician, and you just improvise within that.
There is no sheet music, no notes. Like Morse code, students piece together single letters that tell them what chord to strike.
If you've never played the piano before, you're not going to understand scales and intervals. So what I do is I sort of create a way of understanding the piano that's a little bit more mathematical. You're sort of learning it in terms of numbers. So it's easier if you don't want to learn all of the theory behind it, for sure. Once you know how to play just the chord, then you can start learning rhythms. I can show you how to chord in a day, and you can learn just the very, very basics. And so you can start to read guitar chords that you see online, or you can start creating your own pieces of music without any prior musical training.
This is exactly why 14-year-old David Thompson signed up. He wanted to learn how to play the piano without slogging away for 5 years over the keys.
I've really wanted to start writing music, and I'd be able to write, lyrics and have melodies, but then I tried to sit down at the piano and it was just kind of like brain dead. So, no, I wanted to get some simple sort of chording that then you can jazz up and make more complicated or sound better. No, I can't take one more step towards you.
Already, David is accompanying his voice. Shaky sometimes, confident others. Not bad, considering he's only had one previous lesson.
I was pretty surprised with the results. If you can learn one song, you can learn any song.
Enthusiasm and confidence isn't always on staff in a traditional classical piano setting, but Michelle keeps things light, building a new relationship between student and instrument.
And for some students, classical music is perfect because they really like the structure of it. With the chording, it definitely attracts the people who don't necessarily have time to practice on a regular basis. I think for people who've been afraid to pick up an instrument or people who tried when they were 10 and it didn't work out, I think this is a really good way to kind of get back into it.
Striking a chord and learning music in Squamish, I'm Nicole Fitzgerald for The Express.
The website is SquamishAcademyOfMusic.com, and they also teach songwriting classes. And for more ways that you can get involved with the local art scene, we've got some ideas on today's Express Spotlight.
Winter social nights at the Altitudes Bistro at Grouse Mountain is the cozy way to celebrate after a heart-pumping snowshoe trek or an afternoon carving down the peak. After a successful 30 years, the popular laser shows held at the planetarium are wrapping up this January. For the mere cost of a meal, this public event invites you to sit with the kids for a front row view of the youthful connoisseurs in action. It's Eat the Street.
You can also go to the website vanartgallery.bc.ca to find out about the weekend family workshops and the Funky Fuse nights. You can get details there too about their current exhibitions and the upcoming ones. The one I'm really into, the autobiography collection that celebrates their 80th anniversary. We're going to leave you with a look at that. Thanks for watching The Express, only on Shaw TV.